Ever since we put up that job notice on our site, we received a lot of applications. I bet there are at least 50. I know. Yeah, the president will be happy to hear that. He is eager to hire a head engineer and wants the new hire to start as soon as possible. Sound good, but with so many submissions, I have been able to look at all of them properly. Why don't I help you? I have some time tomorrow around 10 o'clock. I'll stop by your office and we can go over them together. The woman said to the man, since he put that job notice on their site, they had received a lot of applications and she bet there was at least 50. The man replied the president would be happy to hear that because he was eager to hire a head engineer and wanted to new here to start as soon as possible. The woman agreed with him. However, she complained there were so many submissions, so she hadn't been able to look at all of them properly. The man suggested help the woman because he had some time tomorrow around 10 o'clock, so he could stop by her office and they could go over them together. Sarah, I hear you were promoted. Congratulations. When does it go into effect? Thanks. It starts in 2 weeks, but I'm busy until then since I need to attend training every day for it. I don't know when I'll have the time to back this stuff up. Well, I finished my work for the day. Really? That's perfect. Could you see if there an extra box in the supply closet? The man congratulated the woman on her promotion and he wanted to know when go into effect. The woman replied it started in 2 weeks, but she was busy until then since she needed to attend training every day for it, and she worried about not having time to pack this stuff up. The man said he had finished his work for that day. The woman was happy about that and she suggested the man find an extra box in the supply closet. Did you hear? At the staff meeting this morning, they said that the store manager, Mr. Harford, will retire this year, and they're looking for someone internal to take the spot. Wow, then you know, I love to be a store manager, but I don't think I have enough experience to be considered. But did you take business class in college? Plus, you've been an assistant manager for a while. That's a lot more than most of us. Maybe you're right. Do you know when interviews start? I think there'll be compiling a list of candidates this month and beginning interview next month. The human resources manager would know more, so you should ask him. The woman said to the man the store manager would retire that year, so they were looking for someone internal to take the spot. The man replied he would love to be a store manager, but he didn't think he had enough experience to be considered. The woman thought he has been assistant manager for a while. That were a lot more than most of them. The man agreed with her, and he wanted to know when interviews start. The woman replied they would be compiling a list of candidates that month and beginning interviews the month after, and she suggested as the human resources manager because he had knew more. Did you hear about Sexy? She quitting and going to work for big publications. You're kidding? They are our biggest competitor. I thought she liked it here. She did, but they scouted at her and offered her a raised position. It was hard to refuse. Good for her. She deserves this. Maybe we should start thinking about our career plans. Right, I think I'll update my resume later today. The woman wanted to know if the man had heard that they were quitting and going to work for a population. The man was surprised by that because they were their biggest competitor. The woman explained they had scouted her and offered her a raised position, so he was hard to refill. The man commented she deserved it, and he thought they should start thinking about their career plans. The woman agreed with him, and she thought she would update her resume later that day. Thank you for coming today's interview. We know the location is hard to reach. I'm Scott Sampson, the chief designer, and I'm Zachary Peters, the head editor of the magazine. It's great to finally meet you both. We looked over your resume and thought you would be a perfect addition to our designer department, but we wasn't sure you had much experience in fashion photography. Actually, I did a freelance work for my friend fashion studio. Would you like to see some of these we used on her website? I brought some with me today. That would be great. And if you could tell us about how you came up with your shooting method. The man one was thankful the woman for coming to that day interview, and then he and the man two introduced themselves. They were chief designer and the head editor of the magazine. The woman was happy about meeting them. The man too said to the woman they had looked over her resume and thought she would be a fresh addition to their design department. However, they hadn't been sure she had much experience in fashion photography. The woman replied she had done freelance work for her friend fashion studio, and she suggested see some of the pieces they used on her friend website, and she had bought some with her that day. The man one was happy about that, and he suggested tell them about how she has come up with her shooting method. Annie, have you applied for the company position that were advertised last year? No, I'm still revisiting my resume. It don't feel like it stands out enough. I know they'll be opening up the hiring to people outside the company as well. If you want, I can send you my resume to use as a guide. I received a lot of help with mine, and it definitely helped. I would appreciate that. Thanks. The man wanted to know if the woman has applied for the company position that were advertised the week before. The woman disagreed with him and she said she was still revisiting her resume because it didn't feel like it stand out enough. The man suggested that the woman his resume to you a guide. The woman was thankful the man.